Hello and welcome. It's Terry with a dynamic yoga flow practice, 60 minutes in length, designed to challenge you if you would like to challenge yourselves. It's also designed for you to take breaks whenever you'd like to. You can always hit the pause button, but I encourage you not to leave your mat. Stay committed to your practice. There are opportunities for inversions. There are opportunities for arm balances, but you can just skip those. There's no reason to overtax yourselves. Do whatever you want to do today on your mat and just have some fun. We're going to be doing some hip work today, a little bit of internal closing your hips, a little bit of opening up your hips. And we'll start warming them up and warming up your legs by lying on your backs. In this position on your backs, it's almost like a hybrid between mountain pose and shavasana. You aren't as alert and dynamic and engaged as you are in your mountain pose, standing tall at the top of your mat. Nor either are you as relaxed and comfortable as in your shavasana, although maybe you'd like to come into it right now. Just find and notice the presence of the weight of your body on the mat, the back of your head, the backs of your shoulders, the backs of the hands, the heels. Slowly take a deep breath in, fill all the way to the top. Open mouth, breath out, let it go. Again, slow breath in. Open mouth, breath out, let it go. Another inhale. Feel a little bit more engagement now. Open mouth, breath out, let it go. Perhaps slightly sealing your lips, coming into a soft rhythm to your breath. Create a nice solid texture. There's a volume to your breath as well, not necessarily in sound, but in richness. Loop your inhales directly into your exhalations. Create a nice pattern to your breath. Leave your left leg long onto the mat. Begin to engage it a little bit more as you curl your toes towards your shin. Bring your right knee into your chest. Right hand to your right knee. Start to try to create little circles, starting to warm up your right hip. Make sure your left leg stays engaged on the floor. Staying here, or grabbing the outside of your right leg or even the outside of your right foot for a happy baby pose, half happy baby pose. Beginning to roll your hip around a little bit, encouraging your right knee towards your right armpit. Flexing into your ankle, flexing into your toes. Straighten your right leg. Bring your hands up towards your ankle, your calf muscle, or even grabbing your right big toe mound with 2 fingers and a thumb. You can even encourage your chest up towards your thigh, getting a little bit more of a sensation of stretch. Just don't yank it. Left leg stays engaged. Slowly lower your shoulders back down onto the floor. A breath in. As you exhale, draw your right leg out to the right. Left hand can come out to the left. Drawing your right heel towards the ceiling, away from you, drawing your toes towards you. Even open up just a bit more. It's almost like a diagonal stretch. You'll feel a lot of sensation in your right hamstrings. On your next inhale, bring your right leg back to center. Take your left hand on the outside of your right leg or even on the outside of your right foot. Begin to draw your leg over towards your left. Your right arm can go out to the right. Continue to press the heel away from you. Continue to draw your toes towards your shin. Make sure your left leg stays nice and long. I'm breathing here for another 2 and 1. Bring your right leg back to center. Bend your right knee. Cross your left thigh on top of your right thigh. Eagle wrap, maybe even drawing your left leg all the way around underneath your right calf muscle. Bring your hands behind you. Intertwine your fingertips, elbows outside. Take a deep breath in, hug the belly in. Exhale, curl everything in, crunch it in, elbows to knee. Inhale, extend, reach front, reach back. Exhale, hug it in. Inhale to extend and hover. Exhale, crunch it in. Inhale to extend. Exhale, curl it in. One more round. Inhale, extend. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale to extend. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, extend, unwind everything. Right leg long onto the mat, left knee into your chest. Draw little circles with your knee towards the ceiling. Starting to warm up your left hip. Encourage your right leg long on the mat. Eventually grabbing the outside of your left leg or the outside of your left foot for a half happy baby pose. And creating these little circles. Straightening to your left leg. Bring your hands up towards your calf muscle, towards your ankle. Draw your chest up towards your thigh. Perhaps you can grab your big toe with 2 fingers and the thumb of your left hand. Lift the chest up towards the thigh just a bit more. Exhale, lower your shoulders back down. Take a breath in. Exhale, draw your left leg out to the left. Right arm can go out to the right. Notice you start to roll over, just stop. That's as far as you go. Then encourage the left toes towards your left shoulder. Right leg still stays long and firm. Take another breath. Bring your leg back to center. Grab the outside of your foot or your leg with your right hand. Encourage a little bit more length in the left side waist. It might have crunched up a bit. Bring your leg over towards your right. Left arm can reach out to the left. Stop as soon as you start to roll over. Encourage the toes towards your right shoulder. Find a little bit more of a pull in the back of the leg as you pull your heel away from you. Nice side stretch in the left outer leg, your IT band, your left outer hip. Stay here for another breath. Come back to center. Settle your left foot back to the floor. Cross your right thigh on top of your left. Wrap the ankles around. Bring the hands behind you. Take an inhale. Exhale, crunch it in. Inhale to extend. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale to extend. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale to extend. Unwind everything. Bring your knees in your chest. Give yourselves a little bit of a rock and roll. Eventually, all the way up into a boat pose, Navasana. Leave your toes lifted off the floor. Chest up towards your thigh. Bring your toes up a little bit more so that they're almost at knee level. Arms perhaps reach forward, maybe even straighten your legs. Make sure you're getting a little bit more lift up of the lower body. Pull it into the front of the spine, as if somebody's pulling you diagonally to the front of the room. Staying here for another 3. Pull the belly in for 2. Smile for 1. Exhale, cross your ankles, roll over onto your hands and knees for tabletop position. Spread your fingers wide. Shoulders are over your wrists. Knees are underneath your hips. Take a breath in for cow position. Tilt your head, tilt your tailbone up. Exhale, push the floor away, round the spine. Let your head and neck relax. One more round. Inhale, chest pulls through the shoulders. As you exhale, hug the belly in, let the head and neck relax. Come back to neutral. Step your right foot to the back of the mat. Press into the ball of the foot. Wake up the back of your leg. Readjust your hips. Roll the right hip down. Raise your right leg up. Recruit your hamstrings, particularly the insides of the leg. Press down, pull the right heel back, long behind you. Staying here, bring your left arm by your ear for tiger pose or bird dog. Notice if your arms start to drop down, lift it up so it's kissing your left ear. Press into your right hand, get a little bit more oomph. Take another breath in, perhaps the leg lifts up a bit higher. Fingers lift up. Exhale, curl the knee into the elbow. Inhale to extend. Exhale, hug it in, curl it in. Inhale to extend. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale to extend. Exhale, curl it in. Extend. Step your left hand underneath your left shoulder. Just drop your left toes out to the left a bit. Roll your right hip on top of your left. You can always lower your right foot down. Right arm reaches overhead. Modified half moon rising. Staying here for another breath. And perhaps bending into your right knee, reaching for your foot for a half bow or a modified Shavasana. Push the foot into the hand. Draw the shoulder blade wingtips into the back of the heart to get a little bit more of an opening or an arch in your upper back. Make sure you aren't collapsing to your left shoulder. Press down and lift up for another breath. Release your foot. Come back to neutral, but keep your right leg long, right hand underneath right shoulder. Hips are square. Step your right foot all the way to the back of the mat. Anchor into the ball of the foot. Wake up that leg. Bring your knee into your chest. Press down, lift the knee. Try to kiss your left knee. Step to a high plank position. Chest pulls forward, heels pull back. Stay here for 3 breaths. Have the front body support the back body. Neck is long. Engage your quads. Lift your thigh muscles towards your hamstrings. Next breath in, pull the chest forward. Count of 3 to lower down. 3. Slide the elbows against the side body. You can always lower your knees to the floor for 2. And 1. Hands a little bit further back. Lift the chest, shoulders, and up. Press the pelvis into the floor. Pull the belly in. Another breath in. Exhale, release it down. Inhale again, Bhujangasana, baby cobra. Lift up. Elbow points pull towards one another. Exhale, release it down. Inhale, slide the chest forward and up, shoulder heads back. Exhale, release it down. Bring your way back to your tabletop position, hands and knees. Spread your fingers wide. Take a breath in for a cow position, tilt the head, tilt the tailbone. Exhale, round it out. Push the floor away, let your head and neck relax. One more time, inhale. Pull the chest forward, lift the head. Exhale, hug the belly in, let your head and neck relax. Come back to neutral. Step your left foot to the back of the mat. Plug into the ball of the foot, start to feel an engagement in your left leg. Roll your left hip down, either staying here as you raise your left leg up. Right hand can stay on the mat or bring your right arm by your ear. Find a little bit more length from your right fingertips to your left heel. You can even point your toes. Make sure everything is nice and square and level. Take another breath in. Perhaps lift the head, lift the chest, lift the arm. Exhale, curl it in. Bring your knee into your elbow. Inhale to extend. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale, extend. Exhale, curl it in. Inhale to extend. Right hand down. Bring your right toes a little bit outside towards your mat. Roll your left hip on top of your right. Left arm reaches overhead. Modified half moon rising. Press down and lift up. Shoulders over your wrist, perhaps bending into your back knee. Reach the top of the foot. Push the foot away from you. Find a beautiful stretch in front of your left hip. Arch the upper back by drawing the shoulder blades in towards the front of the spine. Another 2. And 1. Coming back to neutral, square it off. Left hand down. Left foot steps all the way to the back of the mat. Wake up your left leg, just like a plank, 3-legged plank. Bring your right knee into your chest. Round into the upper back. Lift the hips. Try to kiss your knee. High plank position. Breathing here for another breath. Nice long spine. As you exhale, lower again all the way down onto the chest and belly. Inhale for a baby cobra, or perhaps straighten your arms for an upward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Shoulders back. Feel a little bit more of a lift up of the legs. Open up the chest. As you exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take several rounds of breath here. Reconnect with your breath if you've lost it. And notice the sensations in the backs of your legs. Every time you come into down dog, it's like the first time you've ever done it. Explore where you feel tight. Notice where you need to find a little bit more space, a little bit more stretch. Your head is heavy, your neck is long. Fingers are spread wide. Make sure you have weight on your knuckles, placing emphasis on the space between your thumb and your index fingers. Push the floor away with the hands from the inner sides of your arms toward your ears. Engage your quads, lift the thigh muscles up and towards your hamstrings, and let your heels settle a little bit more to the floor. On your next inhalation, lift your heels high. Exhale, spin your heels over towards the left for a twisted down dog. Press down, lift the right hip up even higher, chest towards your thighs. Inhale back to center. Exhale, spin your heels over towards the right. Push the hips up just a bit more. Inhale back to center. Heels settle a little bit more to the floor. On your next inhalation, into a high plank position, shoulders over wrist, nice long line. Exhale, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Again, inhale into your high plank position. Pull the chest forward, pull the heels back. Exhale, down dog. Inhale, high plank. Staying in your plank, hands stay to the floor as you spin your heels over towards the left, just like in down dog. Inhale back to center. Exhale, spin them to the right. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, spin them to the left. The right hand can stay on the floor, perhaps bring your right arm overhead. You can always lower your left knee back to the floor. Vashisthasana, side plank. Lift the hips up a bit higher. Take another breath. Draw your right arm over by your right ear to the front. Come back to neutral, right hand down. Spin your heels over towards the right. Feet can stay staggered. Right knee can go down. Left arm reaches overhead. Press down, lift up. Lift up a little bit more. Side plank, Vashisthasana. Swim your left arm by your left ear. Find that side body stretch. Come back to your high plank position. Lower down halfway or all the way to the mat, Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, pull forward and up, either baby cobra or your upward facing dog, Adho Mukha. Exhale, hips are high, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha. Take several breaths here. Continue to push the floor away with the hands. Get a little bit more length in the side body. Feel a little bit narrow in your waist. A little bit more engaged in your legs. On your next inhalation, lift your heels high. Exhale, bend your knees, step or float lightly to the top of your mat. Breath in, lengthen chest forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Breath out, bow down, forward fold, Uttanasana. Again, inhale, lengthen chest forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, bow down, forward fold, Uttanasana. One more round, inhale to lengthen. Exhale to bow down, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, bring your arms by your ears, reach high, Utthita Hastasana. Exhale, hands to the center of your chest, Samastitihi, equal standing. Let's flow and move with our breath. Surya Namaskara A. Inhale, bring your arms overhead. Exhale, hinge at your hips, follow the breath all the way down. Inhale, lengthen, chest forward. Exhale, hands to the floor, step or float through to Chaturanga Dandasana, low plank. Inhale, pull forward and up, upward facing dog, Adho Mukha. Exhale, hips are high, downward facing dog, Adho Mukha. Take a breath in and let it go. 2 more rounds of breath in, breath out. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, heels high. Exhale, bend your knees, push back, step or float to the top of your mat. Breath into lengthen, pull your chest forward. Exhale, bow down, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, rise all the way up, bring your arms by your ears, reach high, Utthita Hastasana. As you exhale, all the way back down, forward fold, Uttanasana. Inhale, lengthen, chest pulls forward. Exhale, hands to the floor, step or float through to bent arms, Chaturanga. Inhale, pull forward and up, up dog. Exhale, hips are high, down dog. Breathe in for 2 cycles of breath. Remember, the insides of your arms go towards your ears. You're pressing the floor away to send your hips up and back. Next inhalation, lift your heels high. Exhale, bend your knees, step or float lightly to the top of your mat. Breath into lengthen, chest forward. Breath out, bow it down, forward fold. Inhale, rise all the way up, bring your arms by your ears, reach high, Utthita Hastasana. Exhale, hands to the center of your chest, Samastitihi, equal standing. Bend your knees deeply, Utkatasana, chair pose. Arms reach overhead. Send your hips down a little bit more. Drop your tailbone down, lift the pubis up. Staying here for another breath. Get a little bit more lift up of the ribs away from the back waist. As you exhale, hinge halfway. Arms swim down behind you. Draw your hips back, chest hovers over your thigh. Back to Utkatasana, chair. Arms reach up. Exhale, hinge your hips, forward fold. Breath into lengthen, chest forward. Breath out, bow it down, forward fold. Bend your knees deeply, Utkatasana, chair. Half chair, Ardha Utkatasana, arms swim back behind you. Stay here, start to lift your heels off the floor. Slowly starting to straighten your legs. Diver's pose, draw your chest down towards your thighs. Arms reach overhead. Eventually hands to the floor. Lower your heels, take a breath in, lift and lengthen. As you exhale, bend your knees, draw your toes out to the sides. Optional crow pose, Bakasana. Come behind the balls of your feet. Squeeze the insides of your legs to the outer arms. Bring your toes together and perhaps get lift off. Mount into your upper back. Push down to lift up. Hug the belly in for another breath. Now just set your feet to the floor and step or float through to your Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, forward and up, up dog. Exhale, hips are high, downward facing dog. And breathe here for 5 rounds of breath. Continue to push the floor away with the hands. Continue to pull length and space in your back. Hug the belly in. Heels settle more to the floor. Another 2 cycles of breath here. On your next inhalation, raise your right leg behind you, 3-limb dog. Pull your left hip back. Raise your right leg a bit higher. Maintain the long spine, the strong arms. Bend your right knee. Open up your right hip. Start to find a glorious stretch inside of your left thigh as well as from your right hip all the way to your right knee. Continue to press the floor away with the right hand. Open up even more. On your next inhalation, square off your right leg. Straighten your right leg, square off the hips. Exhale, tap your right arm with your right knee. Shoulders pull forward over your wrists. Inhale, draw the right leg back. Exhale, tap your left arm with your right knee. Look forward like a plank. Inhale, draw the right leg back. As you exhale, step your right foot all the way to the top of the mat. High crescent lunge, bring your arms by your ears, reaching up. Shoulders aligned over the hips. Bend a little bit into your back knee, softening into it. Drop your tailbone down. Lift the front of the pelvis up. Arms reach brightly overhead. There's a deep, deep bend in your right knee. Press into your right heel to pull your right hip back. Soften into your shoulders, but get a nice big reach up. Another breath in. Exhale, twist to your right. Continue to pull your right hip back, arms reach outstretched. Breathing here for 2 more breaths. Every time you breathe in, get a little bit more of a lift up. Every time you breathe out, there's a little bit more twist. 1 more inhale. Keep your left heel high. Find a little bit more twist when you breathe out. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, hands to the floor. Right leg going back behind you again, down dog split. Bend your right knee, yawn your right hip open. Square it off, extend your right leg. Step your right foot to the top of the mat. Lower your left knee to the floor. Anjaneyasana, kneeling crescent lunge. Sink the hips nice and deeply. Press into your right foot. Again, encourage your right hip back. Feel the back ribs lift away from the back waist to get that lift up. As you sink the lower body down, the upper body is lifting. Another breath in. As you exhale, twist again to your right. Continue to firm your right hip back. In this twist, when you breathe in, press into your right foot, pull your weight up so your hips are shifting back over your knee. You'll have some more opportunity to find a bit more twist. Stay in your twist, exhale, bend into your right knee, sink the hips. Inhale, press into the right foot, pulse your way back up. Exhale, find your twist, your lunge. And inhale, pulse it back up. Then back into your right knee, spin your right arm up and around. Exhale, lower your hands to the floor. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee off the floor. Keep your heel nice and high. You may need blocks or a couple of books for your hands. Take a breath in, sink the hips a little bit more deeply. Look up. Exhale, straighten your right leg. Keep your left heel high, pull your right toes towards your face, pull your right hip back for pyramid. Staying here, flowing with me, bend into your right knee. Glide your way forward, sink the lower body, but lift the upper body. Exhale, straighten your right leg. Pull your right hip back, left hip forward. 2 more rounds. Inhale, bend into your right knee, glide it forward and up. Exhale, pull it back. Inhale, lower down. And exhale, pull it back. Then back into your right knee. Hands firmly to the floor. 3-legged dog. Send your right leg long back behind you. Bend your right knee, yawn it open. Step your right foot to the top of your mat. Warrior 1, place your left heel to the floor. Spin your left arm up and around. You might need to adjust your stance so it's nice and long. Right knee over your right ankle. Left toes dialed a little bit in so it's about a 60-degree angle of your back foot. Now some presence of weight on the outer edge of your back foot. Hug your right hip underneath. Arms are brightly out to the sides. Look over your right shoulder. Perhaps you can benefit a little bit more by bending into your right knee. Just keep your left leg long. Breathing here for another few breaths. Soften into your shoulders. Make sure that both hips are nice and level to the mat and the floor. Another inhale and an exhale. Keep the deep bend in your front knee. Flip your right palm, reverse your warrior, reach up and back. As you exhale, extended side angle. Form is on your right thigh. Bring your left arm by your ear. Reach and lengthen. Spin your right inner thigh towards your face. Soften into your left shoulder. It might have hiked up towards your ear. Find a great stretch from your fingertips all the way to the outer edge of your back foot. Some of you may want to come into a half bind or a full bind. Just make sure that you aren't collapsing into your left chest. The idea is to find an open chest up towards the ceiling. Breathing here for another 2 and 1. Straighten your front leg, parallel your feet. Hands can come to your hips. Bring your weight forward just a bit so you have weight towards the balls of your feet. Send your hip bones high as you draw it down, chest towards your thighs. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Take a breath in, come onto your fingertips. Pull your way forward, long spine. Exhale, hug the belly in as you bow it down for a forward fold. Inhale, lengthen, come onto your fingertips. Pull the crown of the head away from you. Exhale, bow it down, forward fold. Inhale, come back onto your fingertips. Exhale, fold forward. You can either grab your big toes with 2 fingers and a thumb for Prasarita Padottanasana D version, or you can maybe come into a tripod headstand if that's what you feel comfortable doing today in your own space, if you have room. Just make sure wherever you are, everybody, you're breathing. Your head and neck is heavy. If you have your big toes, you can encourage a little bit more bend in the elbows to pull your chest toward your thighs. Just drop your head down even more, relaxing your neck. Draw your head around a little bit. Eventually, slide your hands back underneath your shoulders. My inversions, just come out of your pose as slowly and controlled as possible. Place your right hand in front of you, thread your left arm underneath, grab your right leg for twist. Bending into your left elbow, but pull your left hip up back in space so it lines up with your right. Look underneath your right shoulder, or perhaps draw your right arm way overhead towards the ceiling. Make sure your weight didn't shift toward your heels. Lengthen when you breathe in, draw the left waist towards the floor. Find more of a twist when you breathe out, leading to the center of your chest. One more breath here. Slowly unwind yourselves. Bring your hands underneath your shoulders. Take an in-breath to lengthen. Exhale. Bend your right knee, spin around to face the top of your mat. Heel toe your right foot out to the side for a lizard lunge. Left leg stays long. Shoulders are right over your wrists. Pull the right inner knee towards your right outer arm. Take a breath in. Exhale. Chaturanga, halfway. Lower the elbows, spin them against the side body. Inhale, push right back up. Keep your left leg long. Exhale again. Keep the neck nice and long as well. Inhale, push back up. Exhale, halfway down. Inhale, back up. Lower your left knee. You can heel toe your right foot out to the side a little bit more. Perhaps even coming onto your forearms. You can always use a block for your forearms or a block. And hammock around a little bit. Just make sure you aren't slumping into your shoulders. You're encouraging more length in the chest as you press into your forearms. Find a little bit more of a sensation inside of your hips. But continue to hug the belly in and pull the chest forward. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Heel toe your right foot so it's inside of your feet. Anjaneyasana, kneeling crescent lunge. Press into your right foot. Bring your way up. Sink the hips nice and low. Right hip pulls underneath left. Draw your left arm underneath your right for an Eagle Rock Gardasana on the upper body. Relax and soften into your shoulders. Reach the elbows up. Find a gentle back bend as you continue to lower the hips towards the floor. Breath in. So you exhale, straighten your right leg and bring your elbows towards your knee. Chest towards your thigh. Inhale, bend back into your right knee, glide it forward. Sink the hips low, but lift the chest up. Exhale, straighten your right leg. Bow it down, half split pose. Inhale again, bend into your right knee. Pull up. Exhale, straighten your right leg. Bow it down. Bend into your right knee, bring your arms by your ears, reach high. Lower your left hand to the floor, block. Sink the hips nice and deeply. Press into your left hand, get a little bit more length from your fingertips all the way to your shoulder. Initiate the twist to the center of your chest as you twist towards your right, over towards your right inner thigh. Staying here, or bending into your back knee, reach for your foot. Push the foot away as you sink the hips nice and low. Notice this extra stretch you get in your left side waist to spin towards your right. Pull your right shoulder back even more behind you. Staying here for another 2. And 1. Release your foot, come back to center. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee off the mat, find the firmness in the leg. Spin the heel over towards your left. Step your right foot behind you for Wild Thing Rock Star. Right arm reaches overhead. Press down, lift up. Drop your head back. Right arm is heavy. Hips are high towards the ceiling. A little bit more of a breath in. As you exhale, come back to center. Right hand to the floor. Swing your right leg underneath you towards the left. Come onto the inside of your left foot. Right leg shoots out. Left arm reaches overhead. Fallen triangle, fallen star. Press down, lift up. Scissor your inner thighs. Perhaps your right leg floats up, or even grab the outer edge of the foot. Breathing here for another breath. Lower your left hand to the floor. Step your right foot to the back of the mat, high plank. Optional vinyasa, lowering down through chaturanga. You can always come into child's or down dog. Inhale, pull forward and up, upward facing dog, shoulders back. Exhale, hips are high, downward facing dog. Take 5 cycles of breath wherever you are. Keep pushing the floor away with the hands. Breathing softly in and out through the nose. Dangle your head, shake it around a little bit. Keep encouraging more length in the legs as you slide your kneecaps up towards your thighs. Another inhale and an exhale. On your next breath in, raise your left leg behind you, hips stay level. As you exhale, bring your knee to your nose, shift your shoulders over your wrists. Inhale, draw the leg back behind you. Exhale, bring your knee to your chest, step your left foot to the top of the mat, high crescent lunge, bring your arms by your ears and reach up. Take a breath in. As you exhale, pump weight into your left foot, bring your right thigh all the way on top of your left for a full eagle wrap Gardasana. Right arm is underneath your left, soften into your shoulders, squeeze your inner thighs together. Your right foot can be down on the floor as a kickstand. Get a little bit more lift of the chest. Continue to squeeze your inner thighs together. Your outer hips are pulling together as well. So you're getting a nice benefit of the stretch and this internal rotation of your hips. Take another inhale and an exhale. Breath in, slowly unwind into a warrior 3. Clasping your hands behind you, opening your chest. It's counter to your eagle wrap. Opening up the entire front of the body as you pull your knuckles away. Maybe your arms go straighter and longer. Right hip is rolling down to line up with your left. Keep pulling the chest forward. A gentle back bend, draw your shoulder blades together. Staying here for another breath. Bend, bend, bend into your left standing leg. Come into your high crescent lunge. Bring your arms by your ears, reach high. As you exhale, lower your hands to the floor. Spin your left leg long back behind you. Bend your left knee, yawn it open. Step your left foot to the top of the mat, standing split. Press weight into your left foot, lift your right leg up. Optional handstand kick-ups if that's what you like to do right now. Otherwise, draw your chest towards your thigh. Make sure the hips are nice and level. Perhaps one hand or perhaps both hands come to your ankle for balance and challenge. Breathing here for another breath. Inhale, lift your right leg up a bit higher. As you exhale, bring your knee into your nose. Bring your left hand to your left hip. Bring your right knee up with you. Cross your right ankle on top of your left thigh for figure 4. In figure 4, make sure that your chest is pulling up so you aren't collapsing into the shoulders. Flexing into your ankles. Drawing your right knee down. And come as low as you feel comfortable doing. And perhaps challenge yourself a little bit more by going a little bit more deeply. Some of you, perhaps your forearms become parallel to the shin, lying lightly on the shin. Some of you may have an arm balance in your practice. Your hands come to the floor, bending into your left knee, lift your left heel up, curl your right toes around your left forearm, bend your arms to chaturanga, pull your way forward, and perhaps your left toes lift off the floor. Eventually, you'll all gradually find your way up. And wind your right leg all the way back, coming into a warrior two, bending into your left knee. Reverse your triangle, straighten your front leg, reach up and back. As you exhale, half moon rising, Ardha Chandrasana. Left hand can come to the floor, to a block, a book. Right arm reaches overhead. Make sure your right leg is nice and long. Right shoulder blade lies on top of left. Breathing here for another 3, 2, and 1. Bend into your left knee, find your way back to your warrior two. Straighten your front leg, reach and lengthen to the top of your mat. Squeeze your inner thighs together, keep reaching and lengthening. Eventually your left hand comes down, right arm reaches overhead. Draw the crown of the head to the top of the mat. Spin your left ribs towards me and lean back into your right shoulder blade. Continue to lengthen into the left side waist. Continue to flatten into the right ribs. And look up. Utthita Trikonasana, there's a lot going on here. Press into your left big toe mound to drive your left thigh bone back to the hip socket. Lengthen one more breath in. As you exhale, a little bit more of the rotation of the rib basket. Inhale, come back up. Bend into your right knee, Skandasana, side lunge on the right. Find a sensation of stretch underneath your left leg. Perhaps you can sink the hips a little bit more deeply, scooching your left heel towards the front of the room. Breathing here for another 3, 2, and 1. I know it's a unique sensation. Then into your left knee, crawl your way back to the top of your mat, hands to the floor. Either vinyasa, child's pose, or down dog, stepping to high plank. Lowering down through Chaturanga Dandasana, low plank. Inhale, pull your chest forward and up, up dog. Exhale, hips are high, downward facing dog. Breathing here for another 5 breaths, or just take child's pose. Pace down your breath if it's sped up. In down dog, notice how your head the heaviness of it can actually give you a more stretch in the neck, soften into the tops of the shoulders. Another few cycles of breath here. On your next inhalation, raise your left leg long back behind you. Pull your right hip back. Lift your left leg up even higher. Pull away with the hands. Push down. Bend your left knee on your left hip open. Open it up even more. The knee is directed towards the ceiling. Your left heel is going towards your right hip. Feel that sensation and stretch between your left knee and your left hip. Another breath. Square it off. Extend your left leg. Exhale, tap your left arm with your left knee. Look forward like a 3-legged plank. Inhale, draw the left leg back. Exhale, tap your right arm with your left knee. Cross the body and twist. Inhale, left leg long back behind you. Exhale, step your left foot to the top of the mat. High crescent lunge. Remember, there's a buoyancy in your hips, a little bit of a bend and softness in your back knee. Firm weight in your left foot to pull your left hip back. Arms reach brightly overhead. Make sure your right heel stays nice and high. Encourage your right hip forward. Left hip still pins back. Belly's engaged. Lift the ribs up just a bit more, but soften your shoulders as you reach up. Exhale, find your twist to your left. Continue to hug your left hip back. Lift the ribs up a bit more. Find a little bit more of a twist when you breathe out. One more breath in. Find a bit more twist when you breathe out. Back to center. Left arm brings overhead. Exhale, hands to the floor. Draw your left leg long back behind you again. Down dog split. Bend your left knee. Yawn it open. Step your left foot to the top of your mat to your left thumb. Place your right knee to the floor. Arms reach overhead. Anjaneyasana, kneeling crescent lunge. Sink the hips nice and low. Press into your left foot to pull your left hip back. Reach the ribs away from the back waist. Another breath in. Twist to your left. Arms are outstretched. Stay in your twist. Breath in, pulse it up. Press into your left foot, pull your hips back. Twist. Exhale, lunge. Inhale, press down, lift up. Maybe more of a spin. Exhale, twisted lunge. One more time. Inhale, pulse it back. Find more twist. Exhale, come back to center. Left arm swings overhead. Exhale, lower your hands, tuck your right toes, lift your right knee off the floor. Low lunge, hands can be supported on the floor blocks. Deep breath in, sink hips a little bit lower, but keep your right knee long. Exhale, straighten your left leg. Pull your left toes towards your shin, pull your left hip back. Breath in, bend into your left knee. Draw your way forward, chest pulls forward and up, shoulders back. Exhale, straighten your left leg. Left hip back, right hip forward. Again, inhale, glide it forward. Sink the hips, but look up. Exhale, pyramid, straighten your left leg. Inhale, back into your low lunge. Hands to the floor. Left leg back behind you again, down dog split. Bend your left knee, open it up. Step your left hip to the top of the mat, warrior two. Right foot at an angle, right arm reaches up and around. Sink nice and deeply into your left knee. Arms are long and strong. Knee over your ankle, right leg is firm. Breathing here for a few more rounds of breath. Virabhadrasana 2 is a very long stance. It's also a very powerful stance. Legs are engaged. Weight on the outer edge of your back foot. Arms are bright. Another inhale. And let it go. Keep the deep bend in the front knee. Commit to it. Flip your left palm, reach up and back. As you exhale, extended side angle, left forearm on left thigh, right arm by your ear. Reach and lengthen, left chest over towards your left knee. Roll the left ribs towards your face. Roll your right ribs back. Keep reaching and lengthening. If you have your half bind or full bind, make sure you don't collapse into your right chest. Spin your left inner thigh towards your face. Continue to open up the chest, softening into your shoulders. Lower body is nice and firm. Unwind your bind if you have it. Straighten your front leg, parallel your feet, arms outstretched. Exhale, hinge all the way down for a wide-legged forward fold. Inhale, lengthen, come onto your fingertips, draw your way forward, shoulders back. Exhale, bow down, forward fold. Again, inhale, lengthen, come onto your fingertips, draw the crown of the head towards the wall, and exhale, bow down, forward fold. One more round, inhale to lengthen. This time, exhale, your left hand in front of you on the floor. Thread your right arm underneath your left, grab your left leg. Bend into your right elbow, pull your right hip back. Continue to rock your way forward a bit more because your left hand is on the floor right now. You have that support. Or perhaps draw your left arm overhead. Continue to draw more weight into the outer edges of your back feet, the outer edges of your feet rather, so you aren't collapsing into your arches. Lengthen when you breathe in, the right waist towards your right arm. Just find more spin. One more breath in. Exhale, slowly unwind. Come onto your fingertips to lengthen. Exhale, bend into your left knee, spin around to face the top of your mat. Heel toe your left foot out to the side a bit so your left hand is inside of your left foot. Squeeze the inside of your left knee to your left outer arm. Take a breath in. Right leg stays long and firm. Pull the chest forward. As you exhale, bend your elbows to chaturanga, arms halfway, sliding them against the side body. Inhale, push right back up. Exhale, pull the chest forward as you lower halfway down. Inhale, push right back up. One more time, exhale. Inhale, back up. Lower your right knee to the floor. Sink the hips nice and low. Hands or forearms to the floor. Use whatever's on the floor to help you pull your chest forward. Relax and soften into your jawline. You can roll your hips around a little bit. Soften into the look on your faces, the space between your eyebrow, your eyes. Some of you may feel the stretch in front of your right hip. Some of you may feel it more intensely underneath your left thigh. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Heel toe your left foot so it's inside of your left hand. Pressing firmly into your left feet, Anjaneyasana, kneeling crescent lunge. Sink the hips nice and low, right hand underneath right shoulder. Spin the ribs towards your left inner thigh. Bring your left arm over your head, over towards the ceiling. Lengthen when you breathe in. Get a little bit more lift up, a little bit more pulling of the chest forward, spinning it toward your left inner thigh a bit more. Grab the outside of your foot, pressing the foot into the hands, sink the hips even lower. Find that glorious open twist, or closed twist rather. Press down into your right hand. Chest goes towards your thigh. Left shoulder pulls back. Look back. Push the foot into the hand. Find that quad stretch. Another breath. Slowly release your foot. Come all the way back up. Right arm underneath left for an eagle wrap Gardasana. Elbows and forearms and palms connect. As you sink the hips more deeply, bending into your left knee, lift the elbows up. Lean back. Exhale, straighten your left leg, half split pose, Ardha Hanumanasana, bow it down. Inhale, pull it down, forward and up, glide it up. Exhale, straighten the leg, send your left hip back. Again, inhale. Using your breath for your momentum, and exhale. Come all the way back, unwind your arms, bring your arms overhead. Exhale, hands to the floor, tuck your back toes, lift your right knee off the floor. Spin your right heel over to the right, step your left foot behind you, wild thing, rock star, press down and lift up. Stay here for another 2 breaths. Get a little bit more elevation of your right hip as well as your left. Left arm draws back. Settle your left hand to the floor, spin your left leg underneath you, fallen triangle, fallen star, right arm reaches overhead. Press down, lift up. Perhaps your left leg floats up or even grab the outer edge of your left foot. Staying here for another breath. Come back to neutral. High plank to low plank. You can skip this portion if you'd like. Inhale, pull forward and up dog. Exhale, hips are high, downward facing dog. Take a breath in, lift your heels high, hips high. Open mouth, breath out, let it go. Again, inhale, heels high, hips high. Open mouth, breath out, let it go. One more time, inhale, heels high, hips high. Open mouth, breath out, let it go. On your next breath in, raise your right leg behind you, 3-limb dog. As you exhale, knee to your chest, look forward. Inhale, draw the right leg back. Exhale, step your right foot to the top of your mat, all the way into a high crescent lunge. Bring your way onto your right foot, find your eagle wrap on this side, draw your left thigh on top of your left arm underneath left arm underneath right. Sink the hips nice and low. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Squeeze your outer hips together. You're compacting right towards midline everything. Continue to squeeze, squeeze, squeeze as you're reaching the chest up towards your collarbones. Another breath. Slowly unwinding into your warrior 3, Virabhadrasana 3, clasping your hands behind you. Opening your chest. Roll your left hip down. Keep reaching and lengthening the fingertips behind you. Right leg is long and firm, draw your thigh bone back. Bend, bend, bend into your right standing leg to come into your high crescent lunge again, bring your arms by your ears. As you exhale, lower your hands to the floor. Swing your right leg back behind you, bend your right knee, yawn it open. Step your right foot to the top of your mat. Standing split, raise your left leg up. Staying here, coming into your handstand kick-ups. Pull your right hip back in space. Lift your left leg up a bit higher. You can always bring your hands to one hand to the ankle, the other hand to the ankle. Let your head just bow down. Make sure you're still breathing. In your standing split, hands come back to the floor. Lift your left leg up. Bring your left knee into your chest. Place your right hand to your right hip. Bring your left knee with you, coming into your figure 4, Ekapada Ardha Utkatasana. Notice this side might feel entirely different than the other side. Notice if you swing your right hip out, pull it back into midline. Hands pressed firmly at the center of your chest. Lower your left knee down. Hug the belly in. And find the depth of your pose that you assumed on the first side. Maybe you won't do it on this side. Whatever feels good for you on this side. Keep pulling your chest forward. Perhaps your hands come to the floor for Galavasana. Come behind the ball of your foot. Curl your right toes around your left bent arm. And maybe your toes come off the floor. But you're still pushing the floor away. Mounting into the upper back. And eventually everybody will return into a standing position, settling your left foot to the back of the mat, warrior 2. Bend deeply into your right knee. Reverse your warrior, reach up and back. Exhale, half moon rising, Ardha Chandrasana. Right hand down, can be on the block, the floor, or lightly hovering. Left leg is long behind you. Roll your left hip a little bit more on top of your right. Left arm reaches up. Right arm reaches down. Pull your right chest forward. Spin it towards me, my voice, and open up. Another breath. Bend into your right standing leg, warrior two. Straighten your front leg. Press into your right foot, pull your right hip back. Utthita Trikonasana, right hand down, left arm is overhead. Press into your right big toe mound to pull your right thigh bone back. Lengthen the right side waist. Spin it towards me, away from your body, and then open up. Pull your right inner thigh towards your face. Lengthen when you breathe in, a little bit more of the open twist when you breathe out. Another two. And one. Press into your right foot all the way up, bend into your left knee, side lunge, Skandasana. Curl your right toes towards your face. Sink the hips a little bit more deeply. Notice the sensation of stretch underneath your right leg. Breathing here for another three. Breath in and out for two. And one. Bend into your right knee, crawl your way all the way around to face the top of the mat, hands to the floor, optional vinyasa. Step your right foot back to meet your left. Exhale, lower down through chaturanga. Inhale, forward and up, upward facing dog, shoulders back. Exhale, hips are high, down dog, Adho Mukha Svanasana. Take 5 cycles of breath. Push the floor away with the hands. Let your head hang nice and heavily. Lift your kneecaps up, get some more sensation of stretch in the backs of your legs. Another few rounds of breath. On your next inhalation, raise your right leg behind you, 3-limb dog. Bend your right knee, yawn it open. Step your right foot to the top of the mat, warrior one, Virabhadrasana one. Bring your arms by your ears and reach high. Straighten into your front leg, bring your right hand to your right hip. Reach and lengthen to the front of the room. Press the inner thighs together. Keep reaching and lengthening. Revolve triangle, left hand down, right arm is overhead. Lengthen as you breathe in, but continue to hug the right hip back to midline. Keep your left leg long and firm. Find a little bit more sensation of length when you breathe in. Spin the ribs around the spine, look over your right shoulder. Another breath. So you exhale, bend into your right knee, left hand to the floor, block in front of you, revolve triangle. Press down and lift up. Draw the chest forward, spin the ribs towards me. Another breath in. As you exhale, lower all the way back down, left foot lands, hands in front of you, step back to downward facing dog. Staying here or through vinyasa, inhale, high plank. Exhale, lower down through chaturanga. Inhale, pull forward and up dog. Exhale, hips are high, downward facing dog. Take a breath in and let it go. On your next breath in, raise your left leg behind you, 3-limb dog. As you exhale, step your left foot to the top of the mat, warrior one, Virabhadrasana, bring your arms by your ears. Left hand to left hip, press into your left foot, pull your left hip back. Scissor your inner thighs, squeeze everything to midline. Right arm reaches forward. Continue to press into your left big toe mound. Continue to pull your left hip back. Draw your right arm down, left arm reaches overhead. Squeezing the inner thighs together, lengthen when you breathe in. A little bit more wrap of the ribs around your spine as you breathe out. Another breath here. Maintain this shape, bend into your left knee. Right hand comes to the floor or block in front of you. Continue to twist. Make sure your right leg is long behind you. Lengthen a little bit more into the chest. Spin the ribs around the spine. Another breath here. Gradually lower your left hand down. Bend into your left knee. Step your right foot to the back of the mat. Coming through your final vinyasa, step from high plank to low plank. Inhale, forward and up dog. Stay here. Draw your right hip down, look over your left shoulder. Find that stretch in the front of your body. Breath in back to center. Exhale, dip your left hip, look over your right. Inhale, come back to center. Exhale, lower your knees. Send your hips back toward your heels, cross your ankles. Sit down and slide your legs in front of you. And lower all the way down onto your backs. Bend your knees, place your feet underneath your knees. Pressing down to lift the hips up. Either stay here, coming into a bridge pose, Satya Bandha Savangasana, or bring your arms way overhead so the tops of the hands touch the floor behind you. As you exhale, slowly lower down so the tailbone and the palms touch at the same time. Inhale, press down, lift up. In bridge pose, stay here but continue to draw your shoulder blades together, pressing into the upper arms. Floaters, exhale, slowly lower down. 3 more cycles of breath. In, lifting up. Exhale, floating it down. Inhale, pressing down to lift up. Exhale, lowering it down. Bring your knees gradually into your chest. Grab the outer edges of both feet for happy baby pose. You can rock your way around a little bit, rolling from one side to the other. Perhaps noticing a difference in the sensations now versus almost an hour ago. Gradually bring your knees back together. Left knee hugs into your chest, right leg long to the floor. Use your right hand to guide your left knee over towards your right and turn your head to the left. Noticing the sensation of stretch in the left outer hip. Notice the sensation of opening your left chest as you lower your left shoulder down. Take another 2 breaths here. Lengthen the left hip towards the front of the room. Take your time coming back to center. Straighten your left leg to the floor. Bend into your right knee. Left hand guides it over towards your left. And draw your right arm out to the right. A little bit more twist in the upper back, thoracic spine as you draw your right shoulder to the floor. A little bit more of a twist in your lower back, your lumbar spine as you draw your right knee closer to the floor. Breathing here for another 3, 2, and 1. Slowly find your way back to center. Straighten your legs in front of you. Let your knees and feet roll open. Palms face up to the ceiling. Now in this position that you started class with, you can actually find total, absolute, conscious rest and let everything go in Shavasana. The back of your body is supported by the ground. The front of the body is sinking into the back of the body. You can truly let everything go for a few moments. I invite you to stay in your Shavasana as long as you would like to, in your own space. Otherwise, you can join me in moving your fingers and toes around a little bit, noticing that sweet, subtle sensation of movement. Begin to roll out your ankles, roll out your wrists, moving them around a little bit. Gently roll your head from one side to the other. If you're so inclined to find a big body stretch, bring your arms way behind you. Reach long. Open your mouths, exhale, let it go. Release it all out. And gathering your knees into your chest. Roll over onto your right side. Your left cooling side on your right fiery side to restore your balance. Sealing your practice by drawing your head to the crook of your elbow. And appreciate how well you did in coming into a stillness of Shavasana. It's a very sweet state. That's what we work our way up to during our entire practice. So maintain that sense of softness. Gradually closing your eyes, bring your way up to a seated position. Bring the hands to the center of your chest. Together we'll take a deep breath in, pull the heart right into the heels of the hands. Open mouth, breath out, let it go. I honor the light in you that is the light in me. Namaste. Thank you. I'm Terry, and have a great day.